speed of his dodge shove.
No light
so
though.
Front dodge
just
shove
bash changes.
is now 500 ms,
which I get.
700. The side one is 553. 533.
They always gotta nerf him
700.
a little bit in every change.
And we've also
too.
updated the recovery for them to be 700 instead of 4.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Basically, at the
I guess
speed
that's
they
a
were at,
little
they weren't
fair.
really functional as openers
Yeah, I'm
or
just glad
dodge
he
attacks.
has a front
So by doing this, we're really hoping to get Lawbringer a bit more opening ability. But to compensate, so the idea we had before is that they were safe when they were dodged or whatever.
Dude, I immediately smiled when I saw Lawbringer.
But they were really easy to avoid, so now we're trying to do the opposite.
It's about
with
time
every
you
other
get
hero,
something.
which is they're harder to avoid, but they're easier to punish. So that's kind of what we're going with Lawbringer for this.
I think that's
awesome.
welcome change.
I just want a light though. I don't.
Players ask for a lot.
I don't quite understand why he doesn't.
Should really help Lawbringer there.
Oh.
All right, Nusha. Right?
It's unblockable.
No, Echo Strike
hopefully no more traps.
Now, if you don't really know Nusha that much, I'm sure chat
traps.
right now is freaking out a little bit. Echo Strike is her deflect attack, right? So Echo Strike is now unblockable.
Okay.
Which means that it will
I
no
don't play
longer
Nusha,
auto block if you don't change your stance.
Yeah, because it would sometimes it wouldn't hit.
So
but
it'll
it's
always
funny.
land,
I always said
awesome.
make it
It's a really good quality of
unblockable.
life
Yeah,
change
it's
for
like
Nusha.
you don't know.
And it also deals 20 damage. It used to do like a really, really high amount of damage because you had to kind of like do some shenanigans to make
That's
it work.
funny. We were just talking about it. Like every deflex should just be
unblockable. We have
unblockable.
with a lot of deflect attacks, so they should work quite well. It's way better.
Oh, and their dodge attacks are enhanced now.
Quite well. We've also increased. We also made the crescent jab and crescent step.
I don't remember the name
front
of
dodge
them,
and side dodge lights. They're both enhanced.
Oh yeah, side dodge
again,
lights.
like we want to give Nusha a little bit an easier time to get into her chains, get into opponents. If something is blocked from external front dodge into light or whatever, then you have a bit more chance of getting into somebody's face and be able to defeat them. And we've also adjusted the time at which crescent jab, which is the front version, can be performed during the front dodge, right? So it used to be at 300 ms static. Now it's 100 to 400, so you can do it earlier. You can delay it a little bit more. Gives you more versatility there. That works really, really well. And on top of that, we've also updated all of her weapon trajectories for side heavy attacks to match her weapons visuals a little bit better. And to be fair, they're also a little bit bigger than her weapons to give her better anti-gank. One of the problems that Nusha has on top of being a reflex guard hero is that it's kind of hard to defend yourself.
And her
you get a bunch of people
hitbox
jumping
isn't
onto
that
you.
big. So
now you should be able to do her side heavies.
They just updated her hitbox is a little bigger now.
Yeah.
So that should help there also a little bit and get her like a little bit higher up. Like she's not going to be like, the end all be all character, but at least those are really, really nice quality of life changes here for us.
Yeah,
that's what
I'm so pumped.
Two back to back. Let's go. That's what
I
guess she really didn't need a testing ground like Yorm.
So
he's like a
it's
full
so good to see it.
He needs work.
Like hero change.
Yeah, so that's good. All right, now
change. You guys are gonna love this.
Peacekeeper, right? So for Peacekeeper, we focused a bit on making her dodge attacks or side dodge attacks be a bit safer, right? So sidestep strike, which is a side dodge heavy, used to have like 700 ms of recovery on miss. A lot of people were able to kind of like side dodge into guard break on reaction, which was kind of bad. So we've really, really lowered the recovery of that attack by quite a bit on miss and on block, or not on block and on hit, to make sure that the move is a lot safer to use in a lot of situations. And as well, the riposting stab, which is a deflect attack, now there's a medium hit reaction instead of a light, so you get better from advantage afterwards. If you do nothing, you're from advantage. If you want to go into chains or whatever, you get better mix up afterwards.
Oh,
and
bro,
it also has a lower recovery on hit, now 400 ms.
Now.
So it used to be longer. Again, here we're
That's
trying to
so
give
nice.
Peacekeeper's attacks, like a lot of her dodge stuff and her deflect stuff, to be a bit safer, be more usable, and have like a bit more utility in different situations.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wonder if you could sidestep. Do dodge heavy and then.
All right, now Raider nerfs.
Oh,
so Raider is still a bit overperforming, and we wanted to make sure that the hero was toned down a little bit. Not massively, but enough that you kind of feel it a little bit. And so fighting the hero is going to be less frustrating.
Yikes, it's a lot of damage
first off,
number
the stamina
drops.
pool is now 120, which is like the standard stamina pool for most heroes. It used to be at 130, and on top of having a lot of soft feints, Raider has feels like he never runs out of stamina. So at 120,
he doesn't.
It's gonna help that it kind of a little bit.
He does. And I have a stamina build
efficient.
too, with like 2 perks of stamina. So I literally never run out of stamina.
A lot of his attacks for their damage down a little bit, right? So chain top heavy now deals 28, chain side heavy now deals 26. So they used to deal 30 and 27. Mostly because the finishers now deal 30 and 28, and the Tone Attack and Chains also deals 28. So the idea here is that we want to cap damage for those finishers at 30, like we've been doing quite often. And so we wanted to have Raiders damage to be a little bit more in line with what other heroes have, on top of the hero having like really huge trajectories, hitting a bunch of different people, getting to a lot of stuff. So that should really help quite a bit in the situation there and be less frustrating to fight against Raiders. That should be pretty good for everybody involved.
Yeah, just get him back down into like, a decent tier.
Yeah. I mean,
a decent tier. They just,
yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I guess
it's really just a case of how do we make the hero less frustrating to fight against without annihilating.
I don't still have pretty good stamina
if I don't
game.
Yeah, if I was going to say, if I don't see Pirate,
Pirate nerfs, let's go. No even changes.
Right. So then Pirate nerfs. So we're doing one last round for now, at least, of Pirate nerfs.
For at least, yes.
So Walk the Plank now deals 24 damage instead of 27. Again, it's to lower the damage output of Walk the Plank. You get a guaranteed 5 damage shot afterwards.
Off these 30
all those dodge cancels, all that sort of stuff. So we wanted to make sure that the move is still good, it's still usable. But at the same time, it doesn't do like way too much damage. But we also adjusted how much
Cavalier dances her
to 30. So it's as if it dealt
attack?
30 damage, but it deals 24 in terms of revenge only.
I don't even play
so
Pirate.
Again, we want to
make sure it only does 12
pirates are a little bit less effective.
That has to be her dodge.
A big way to have that, to crank it up a little bit, just enough that it still works. They're still good, but it's gonna be much more difficult to do repeated ganks, repeated walk the planks back and back and back to go to kill somebody, to go from 100 to 0 really efficient. We've also lowered the damage of Cavalier Dance to 12. That's front dodge heavy. It used to deal 14. Again, a lot of these things are we're tweaking the damage here to make sure that like Pirate has different choices and different options, and some of them have drawbacks and some of them have benefits.
It's still there, right? The hyper.
When we designed Pirate, a lot of what we were going for
I guess they didn't take out the hyper armor unless they did.
You just can't soft
options at any point in her kit. That's why there's a dodge cancels. You can dodge into side heavy, front heavy. You can go to walk the plank.
A lot
of different things.
Keeps getting nerfed.
I'm
okay.
Because those options were quite strong, we're doing a bit too much damage. It kind of made the choice less impactful, right? So now if you want to go into a front dodge heavy and then get the armor, get the extra damage, get the flow going, well, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit more damage. If you're going to walk the plank, it deals more damage. It deals much more damage than going Cavalier Dance. But like there's those trade-offs here that we really want to focus and have an emphasis on player choice and expression and going, well, I play Pirate this way, you play Pirate that way, and it's always a little bit different. So that's the part of the nerf, and then
everyone
the next
plays
one
Pirate
is a nerf,
the same
but it's also
way.
Exactly the same.
Chaining time.
It's Pirate recovery. Dodge attack, external dodge attack,
only when
and
you
then
miss with your attack.
Hit
the chaining
someone.
timings are 300 ms up
Target
to 200.
switch,
and that
pistol.
is because we had an issue that if your attack
I've never said like,
hit an
that's a good
opponent
Pirate.
after your mistiming on somebody, or even after you hit your main target, or if something happened and you hit an off target afterwards, you could target swap to them and then do a pistol blast, and that pistol blast would be guaranteed because the chaining timing was very, really short. I've seen a lot of people talk about this on Reddit. We've had discussions with pro players there. So with that being at 300 instead of 200, should really eliminate those situations and make sure that character is a lot more fair to fight against and get into like that better feeling of fighting a Pirate. I know some players find her like oppressing and difficult to fight against. So hopefully these changes will really help.
I don't know. I think they should
that level
shrink her
down a little bit
hitbox
and
on her
still
dodge
attack,
and that would have been a really good nerf.
I know.
Just because that thing
Her
can
hit-
slap
But
everybody,
I was so
and it's like a
enjoying glitch swapping,
360.
shooting everyone in
sword.
the face.
It's a small
Why
sword.
would you take this
Yeah.
away
Alright,
from me?
next should be Shinobi.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Or Conqueror.
No, it's a good change. It needed to
Never
stop.
mind.
All right, so we're going to other
Shinobi
improvements
dodge
that are a bit more
kicks, now
miscellaneous-y. So Warlord, uninterruptible stance. That's armor for people who don't know yet.
What's that?
On Warlord's heavy finishers, now it starts at 100 ms. It used to be 300. So at 100, it'll help the hero be a little bit better in group fights and be able to use those heavy finishers a bit more efficiently. We've also done another change to Centurion. So now there's two things, right? So every single move that could chain to jab on hit or block can also now chain to jab on miss.
Nice.
So you can do now
jab off misses
light
now.
rather, and if your opponent dodges it, you can do the jab afterwards. So that makes a bit of a difference here. Like it gives Centurion better ways to go into the character's mix-up.
That's pretty cool.
And get into a bunch of different things there, so that's really good. And we've also updated some other things to get that jab and the punch.
Oh, dude, Glad's old animation.
Feel better
you see that?
and have track dodges.
His toe stab.
No.
They brought it back.
Changes. First, I'm going to go to the second one.
Why?
It's a little more complicated, but basically the max charge time for jab is now 1,000 ms, up from 800.
Why would they bring that
This
back?
might
It even says return of the old animation.
But in actuality,
That's gonna be
if we
so
wanted it to
annoying.
really, correctly track opponents that are early dodging, we needed to have that timing there. So you're going to charge for
I want to
little
hear
bit
the
longer,
response for
but
this one.
to compensate on top of this, the minimum charge is now 300 instead of 4, which means that in a lot of situations, people are going to have to dodge jab a little bit more on read than on reaction, because you can have a little bit less time to react to it. And then them dodging earlier means that the full charge they're going to have is going to be a lot more likely to hit them. So I know there was a lot of discussion about this, that we had fixed it. We had done a lot of changes to help it, but it was still situations where it wasn't working properly. So with this, it should be working properly in most situations. So it's really going to help in those really weird edge cases that happen a bit more often.
Delete button, charging.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, next up, Gladiator. I know a lot of people have been asking for this, and we've actually brought it back. So, Fushina Ictus, which is we've brought back the fact
I want
that
a list of names who asked for
out
this
of
back.
stamina, and we brought back the old animation where you hit them in the toes, punch them in the face.
So good.
Yeah, I know people were really
like
sad
it,
when we
but
removed
I don't
it, and
know.
we kind of had to remove it when we did that rework, because otherwise it created situations where Gladiator was way too strong and somebody was out of stamina. You can do I don't remember how much, but an incredibly high amount of damage. But now that we've actually patched in and changed the way that stamina gets back to full whenever you get up, it means that whenever you land a Fushina Ictus,
so I guess
falls down,
it's
they're gonna get back up to full stamina, and you're not gonna be able to to go
it's
back
like
but I forgot about the stamina
So
changes.
that should be quite a difference here. It should be really interesting.
Okay.
So someone gets a heavy, dude. I don't know both.
Tengukaze, which is a down stance heavy, like the full block stance heavy, now costs 12
Glad
stamina.
wouldn't be able to get a heavy off.
Yeah, it would just be.
We wanted to make sure that Kyoshin had a bit more options that were more stamina effective. Stamina efficient rather, to be able to open up opponents. So that's a big change here. 8 stamina doesn't seem like much, but it's actually a big deal in a lot of situations.
32 damage with.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. Zanhu, so a bit of a nerf to the character's heavy finisher's damage. They now deal 28 instead of 32. So first of all, 32 was too high, regardless, right?
Yeah.
And then we picked 28 and we went down to that level because Zanhu has a feat called Winner's Advantage, and we don't want to nerf Winner's Advantage and remove a lot of effectiveness from it, but it causes your next attack to deal a lot of damage, which meant that Zanhu, after pretty much every single hit, could deal something close to 38 damage.
Yeah.
So by reducing the damage of his heavy finisher's baseline, we also lower the damage that Winner's Advantage ends up giving for Zanhu.
Yeah, and the hitbox.
His stun goes above 30, but it doesn't go massively above
dodge,
30.
So.
It doesn't go to 38 or something, which was
I'm glad it's
crazy.
down to 28.
So that's a little bit lower. Should help out a lot in those situations. And last but not least, for Shinobi, the dodge kicks now pin for 800 ms instead of 1100. That should help. That should help a lot of gang situations. Right? Because Shinobi was able to use the dodge kicks, pin opponents with them, get their opponents to be in that pin reaction for a long period of time, get a guaranteed heavy from an ally. You barely had to time it. It was pretty easy to do. With this, you need to be able to throw the heavy quicker, earlier, a bit more on read almost. So it's a lot harder. It should be harder to set up these ganks, but the attacks are still guaranteed.
Surprise, no Conquer changes.
So it shouldn't impact the hero in 1v1 situations, but in gang situations, should make a big difference. And on top of that, Shadow Strike, which is the light attack that's guaranteed after a parry, now deals 14 damage instead of 18. And we made that change because that attack leads to a really potent mix-up for Shinobi.
Yeah,
so
you're right back into
it. A bit too much damage, a bit too much pressure whenever he was landing even a heavy parry, right?
So
that light
and then on top of that was
confirms the heavy, and then you could.
So we lowered it down to a more normal level of damage
things you could do.
For a light parry punish, for a heavy parry punish rather, and you get more standard damage here.
Yeah, I'm excited for him to not basically be just a ham slapping samurai nail gun anymore.
It's good he can't pin you anymore for that.
It was out of control.
Yeah, that needed to change there, so that was pretty good. Okay, so we have other improvements, right? So this is a big one.
Field of View?
Yeah, we have the FOV slider, which is now available on console. So that's really, really good. It's a great improvement.
Well, you couldn't do anything on console?
What it looks like.
No, I guess
this is the default field of view.
like an
right?
FOV
so this is what
slider
it looks like
on
when you're normally playing on console, and you can't change it. On PC, you can, but on console, you absolutely cannot. You could not change it, but we made it so you can be changed. So we could go to the next